Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming.
Welcome once again to the channel. This is Octane, your host, and today we take a look at the new deck that is out for the final event of the season. Now the final event of the season is a Slayer event, and we've got an Immortal Killer deck. So we're gonna jump right in. Have got the deck. I did manage to get the ultra rare. I think it was on the second tier of the vault, which is really good because since the start of the year, I think it's the second time I've been able to get one of the cards from the vault. So it's really lucky. I've just been getting relics, which I did get 3 relics from the vault, or 2 relics, can't remember, but I've got the ultimate relic anyway. So I'm gonna jump right in. We're gonna have a look at the ultimate form first and foremost, which is District Defenders, and it's a pretty decent ultimate form. I think it's the best ultimate form this season, and what it does, it creates 7 firepower gem 7s. It heals for 500% of your recovery, and it increases Fire Slayer attack by 60% for 1 turn. So that's all it's going to do when you activate the battle skill if you're not ambushing. If you're ambushing, it will do a bit more, and this is what it will do when it's ambushing. So when ambushing, it will increase Fire Slayer's attack by 200% instead of 60%. Then it will upgrade all firepower gem by 1 rank higher and become immune to enemy damage for 1 turn. So that's all it will do when it's ambushing. Once you've used your battle skill for the first time, you lose your ambushing unless you die and revive. And not all revive resets ambushing. So that is the battle skill of the ultimate form for this week. I think it's a pretty decent ultimate form compared to the rest of the ultimate form for that we've seen this season. Some of the ultimate forms have been absolutely ridiculous, interesting but ridiculous. They're pretty much useless, and some are really underpowered. It's got a 1 turn cooldown, which is quite nice. So after you've used your battle skill, you haven't got your ambushing, you're still able to create 7 power gem 7s, and you're still able to heal for 500% of it, hero recovery, and increase Slayer's attack by 60%. You'll get that every single turn as long as you activate the battle skill. So that is okay. This one dispels Traitor and it dispels Slumber. Of the two, Slumber is a bit more it's a bit more annoying than say Traitor. Traitor does affect your health, but what Traitor does is when you get hit by Traitor, because Traitor is a debuff, just like Slumber. Slumber is a debuff. Only the cards that are hit by Traitor will damage the health of your deck. However, if you have got cards on board that spawns power gem or gems or does anything passively, it will be affected by Slumber. So Slumber is one that you want to get rid of. It's always best to dispel all debuffs and buff, but if you can only dispel one of these two, I would say try and dispel Slumber. That's the ultimate form. Pretty nice ultimate form. Really like it because it upgrades power gems, gives you 7 power gem 7s. It does increase Slayer's attack by 60% if you've already used your ambush. If you're using your ambush, it's 200% for the entire deck. It's not a self buff, it's a buff for all Fire Slayer heroes. So it's quite nice, does a lot. Next card up will be your Master Collection card, and your Master Collection card for this week creates 6 fire power gem 6s. It also increased Fire Slayer's attack by 60% for 1 turn. Now when it's ambushing, it increases Fire Slayer attack by 200% instead, and becomes immune to enemies damage for 1 turn. It's got a 1 turn cooldown as well. 5 gem charge rate, which is quite decent. 5 gem charge rate is really decent, so you don't have to have a full board of power gems to power up this card. As long as you match 5 fire gems, it powers up the card. 1 turn cooldown, brilliant. Really like the 1 turn cooldown on this deck. Now this one dispels Slumber, so if you haven't got the ultimate form but you have got the Master Collection card, you can dispel Slumber, so that's quite nice as well. I really like the Master Collection card. It's a decent Master Collection card. The Ultra Rare. Now the Ultra Rare is one that is also going to upgrade all your power gems by 1 rank higher when you're ambushing. What it does, it creates 7 fire power gems 7s. It heals for 500% of your recovery. When ambushing, it upgrades all fire power gem by 1 rank. Again, your 5 gem charge rate, your 1 turn cooldown. So if you're not ambushing, this card will heal and it will create 7 fire power gem 7s, which is okay. It's not 14 fire power gem 7s or 10 or whatsoever, but the ability to upgrade all your fire power gems to 1 rank higher, even if it's a one-shot offer, it's still quite nice. This one will dispel Fear. Now Fear is one that you need to dispel. This is not a debuff, it's actually a buff for the boss, and what it does is when the boss is buffed with Fear, 1 or 2 or probably all your cards in the deck will lose their battle meter. So that's one you need to get rid of, because it can be pretty annoying and it can waste a lot of time. So that's one that you need to dispel, and that is your Ultra Rare. I think the Ultra Rare has got its place on the deck, and I think the Master Collection card also has got its place on the deck. I think if I would choose one of the two, I think I would go for, say, the Master Collection card. Now the reason why I say the Master Collection card is because a lot of us tend to think because the Ultra Rare actually upgrades all power gems, fire power gems on the board to 1 rank higher, and it creates power gem 7s, which is 7 power gem 7s. All of that does translate to a bigger bang for your buck, but it actually doesn't. The 200% attack increase that you will get from the Master Collection card, if you've got cards that can produce decent level power gems, it does translate to a bigger bang for your buck than upgrading all your power gems to 1 rank higher. It does work out, because with Gem Crush, you cannot fill the board with power gems. You create a certain amount of power gems on the board before they all get crushed into 1 line. Now upgrading 1 line of power gems to 1 rank higher is far less potent than if you've got, say, 20 power gems on the board and you boost all the attack of your Slayer cards by 200%. You get a bigger bang for your buck. So the more you crush your power gems, your deck lose power in the translation, basically. Now this is Rebel. It is your main hero, and your main hero for this week creates 5 Firepower Gem 4s. It increases Slayer attack by 30% for 1 turn, and that's when it's not ambushing. But when it's ambushing, it actually increases Fire Slayer's attack by 80%. So that's a 50% increase to the attack boost when you're ambushing, but you do get 30% when you're not attacking, and you get 5 Power Gem 4s. Now 5 Power Gem 4s is, I think it could be say 6 or 7 Firepower Gem 4s. It could even be up to a maximum of 10 Firepower Gem 4s, because Firepower Gem 4s are not as powerful as Power Gem 5, 6, 7s. And it's not creating a lot of Firepower Gems that they can be crushed. So I think the 5 Power Gem that it's creating is quite meager. However, you do get 5 Power Gems, and you do get that 30% boost when you're not attacking, and you get 80% when you're actually ambushing. So I think it's a nice main hero. It's something that people in the Paladin League and lower can use. They can compete quite readily. It's not gonna be a massive deck that deals massive damage, but it's a nice card that can be used for a new beginner. So that is a pretty useful main hero. Now the support card, I think this week is far more useful for a new player, or far useful for somebody who hasn't got the variety in their collection because they're a new player, they just start playing a few months, or they haven't collected the type of card like somebody like myself has collected. What it does, it creates 8 fire gems, but when it's ambushing, it actually creates 6 Firepower Gem 1s. Now that is decent. For a support card to create 6 Firepower Gem 6s, it's quite decent. It's a one-shot offer, but I think it's far more decent than having a support card that only heals for 5000% of your recovery and create 15 or 16, even a full board of just gems. But if it created a full board of gems, then those will crush into 7 Firepower Gems, Firepower Gem 1s or Firepower Gem 4s. So if it actually filled the board with fire gems, it would be far more effective than only when ambushing it creates 6 Firepower Gem 1s. But it is what it is. I think it's still a nice support card. This one is one that can be kept, not just one to keep in a deck to dust. This is one you can keep 1 or 2 copies. You don't need more than 2 copies of this support card. But I think the support card for this week is quite nice. I like the support card. I'm not gonna be using it anyway, but it's something that I like. I think it can be improved upon going forward. So this week's support card is not too bad. So that is your deck for this week. Did manage to get a copy of the Ultimate Relic. The Ultimate Relic does your same gun variety stuff like all the Ultimate Relic. However, when it gets up to higher level pink stars, it starts doing different stuff. I don't know what this week one does, but this is an older Ultimate Relic, Lion's Pride, and this one is for the Blitzkrieg Beast deck, which is an Immortal Killer deck. This one is quite nice. Lion Pride, I think your older Ultimate Relic some of the time does really decent stuff. This one actually heals, so this one is not too bad to have on your deck. Some cards that you can add to your deck, or you can create your deck from. The best one would be this one, Culinary Kings. Culinary Kings is a really good supporting card or utility card, and what it does, it creates 6 Firepower Gem 6s, then it upgrades all Firepower Gems on the board to be 2 rank higher. So while your current ultimate form only upgrades it by 1 rank, this one upgrades it by 2 rank and it creates 6 firepower gem 6s as well. It's got 2 passive on board, the first of which creates 3 firepower gem 4s at the start of each turn. The next one is Food Coma. If 7 or more firepower gem 6s or higher are on the board, it delays the enemy's turn by 1. This passive has got a 5-turn cooldown. Dispels Kiss. We don't need any card to dispel Kiss this week. Prime Bovine. Now, Prime Bovine will create 7 firepower gem 6s. It will heal for 5,000% of your recovery and increase self attack by 20% for 1 turn. Whenever a hero gains the bonus attack buff, this hero will create an additional 2 firepower gem 4s. We all know what the bonus attack buff does. When hit, this hero gains the bonus attack buff for 1 turn, and while bonus attack buff is active, it will strike an additional time, dealing exactly 100% of the main damage dealt by this card. The next card up is this one, Clandestine Clans. And Clandestine Clan, what it does, it spawns 4 firepower gem 5s plus 1 more per 200 noble killer intensity. So this one is intensity dependent. After a gem crush happens, it heals for 15% of maximum HP and dispels all debuff. So this one will cleanse all debuff from your deck. Can occur once per turn. It stacks with other heroes with the same effect. The second one, after gem crush happens, it increases noble killer's attack by 120% for 1 turn. Can occur once per turn. So this one is primarily focused on noble killer cards, but it is something that you can use because it will boost itself because it's a noble killer card. This one, Honor Roll Luminaires. This one is a year hold, and this one is a nice ultimate form that you can use as well. This one will give you the killer skill most definitely. It creates 7 firepower gem 5s. It resists 15% of damage taken from enemy's attack for 2 turns, and it receives the bonus attack buff for 1 turn. When ambushing, it doubles the gem created and increases self attack by 200% for 2 turns. So this one doesn't increase the damage, the attack output of any other cards but itself, but it does increase its self attack by 200%. This only happens when it's ambushing, so you will need to activate this one alongside all the other cards so that it can gain from the upgrading of the power gems. It can gain that 200% attack increase that comes from the current ultimate form if you're going to use it in conjunction with the current ultimate form that is. So it's quite a nice damage dealer. It does create quite a number of power gems. Well, not a massive amount, but it creates a decent amount of power gems. It has got the bonus attack buff as well, so it depends on the amount of damage that you dealt in the main attack. It will deal exactly 100% of the main attack. So if this one deal, say for example 5 quadrillion, it will deal an additional 5 quadrillion with the bonus attack. So that is something which can be really useful. Passive Violent Outburst. On turns when you crush gems, this hero attacks with 50% increased attack. So there you're getting an increase 50% to the total amount of attack that you can deal with this. So that is quite a decent amount of attack. This one Dispel Blind. There's no blind this week. Now Blitzkrieg Beast is the oldest of the 2 ultimate forms. So you've got this one, Honor Roll Luminaires, and you've got Blitzkrieg Beast, which is quite old. Blitzkrieg Beast it's okay, it's quite nice. It's not brilliant, but it's quite nice. And what it does, it creates power gem 4s. It creates 4 firepower gem 4s and a heal for 2000% of your recovery. If you are over 50% HP, it will double the number of power gem it creates. So that means it will give you 8 power gem 4s. If you're below 50% HP, it will double the heal. And that can be quite useful in a tight spot. Blitzkrieg Beast, whenever 8 firepower gem 1s or greater are on the board, it decreases the damage taken by up to 20% for 1 turn at a rate of 5%, and it increased by 5% based on skill point. The next one is Searing Stock, and when a healing battle skill is used, it increases self-attack by 100% and create 3 firepower gem freeze. Can be triggered once per turn. So whenever you use Blitzkrieg Beast's battle skill, it will increase its self-attack by exactly 100%, and that can be quite useful as well. So it's a pretty old card, but it can be really useful, especially if you haven't got any other ultimate form which has got the killer skill. This one can be really useful. And those are 4 of the useful cards. We still got a few more cards that you can use as well, and these are some ultimate forms that you can use. This Spot of Despair, quite old. This one is one of the first Fire Slayer card to have the bonus attack buff. It came out after Freedom Fighters and Odd One Guerrillas, so this one was actually nerfed. It's not as powerful. We spoke about Honor Roll Luminaries before. The next card up is this one, Waste Warriors. Waste Warriors is a pretty decent card when it comes to gem production. What it does, it creates 14 firepower gem 6s, and it gains the attack bonus buff for 1 turn. This one has got a 3 turn cooldown, so every 3 turns this one can create 14 firepower gem 6s. That's quite a decent amount of firepower gem this one can actually create. It's got the bonus attack buff, and it's got Pilfered Gear, which is the second of the 3 passive that's on it. So once per turn, when you crush gems, it dispels 1 enemy buff and increase the series attack by 60% for 1 turn. So this is a card that can dispel fear from the bosses. So this is one that can be used quite easily on your deck as well. It also cleanses 1 buff whenever this hero attack on your. It cleanses 1 debuff whenever this hero attacks or you are attacked by an enemy. So whenever you attack or you get attacked by an enemy, it cleanses 1 debuff. So 1 debuff, I think it's 1 debuff from every single card on your deck. You can't, so you can be hit by 2 debuff, but it will only cleanse 1. So this is a decent card that you can use in conjunction with the cards that we've got. Now this one, Judo Alliance. Judo Alliance it's a delay card. It's got a 4 turn cooldown, but the passive is quite nice. So we'll first look at the battle skill, which delays all enemies attack timer by 1 turn, and then it will increase self-attack by 100% for 2 turns. So this one increases self-attack, so it can be a main damage, used as a main damage dealer as well. It's got the bonus attack buff. While bonus attack buff is active, this hero will strike an additional time on its next turn, dealing exactly 100% of the main damage. The next passive, it creates 8 firepower gem 7s at the start of each turn. So this one generates your power gems passively. And the last of the passive is whenever delay or an invulnerability skill is used, it gains double attack for 1 turn. So it doubles the amount of attack for 1 turn. So I think it's almost like a triple attack buff. The next one is Master Chef. Master Chef is just like Culinary Kings. It upgrades all firepower gems to 2 rank higher. However, this one doesn't create any power gems, it just upgrades, and it also delays the enemy turn count by 1. So those are some of the useful cards. This is the combo I'm planning to use at the start of the event, and it comprises of Judo Lions, Honor Roll Luminaires, Waste Warriors, Culinary Kings, and District Defenders, which is a current ultimate form. did manage to get current ultimate form, because I did get a copy of the ultra rare and I craft the master collection card. The card that's gonna be my main damage dealer is Honor Roll Luminary. It will deal a bit more damage because I've got the free pink star, I've got it a work on ones. Waste Warrior is also gonna be one of my main damage dealer. Probably won't deal as much as say Honor Roll Luminaire, and Judo Alliance will deal quite a bit of damage as well. So I've got 3 cards on this combination that will be my main damage dealer. I've got 2 ultimate relics and 3 of the current relic, 1 of the rare relic and 2 main relic. So that's a combination that I will be running at the start of the event. I will showcase this deck in action. It's the last deck of the season, and I think it's the best deck out of all the decks for this season. So that's about all I've got for you today. Look forward to a possible deck combination tomorrow, when we'll showcase several cards within my collection. So if the information has been helpful, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, ask a question. This is Octane saying enjoy the rest of your day and peace. Bye for now.